Joining me now, the chairman of the American Conservative Union, Matt Schlapp, and cyberterrorism analyst, CEO at Crowdsource Investigations, Morgan Wright. Gentlemen, great to have you with us. Let me start, if I may, Morgan, with you.
Sure.
And that is, when you heard that the Russians had hacked our election, what was your reaction?
Well, the first thing I thought is I'm not shocked. This is not a new tactic. It's just a new tool. And in case anybody thinks that this is unusual for Russia to do, just go back and read a few of the memoirs from the former CI directors like Helms. You'll find out that the United States has engaged for a long time in influencing elections, but that's the key word, Lou. There's a difference between influence and manipulation. I think this was influence that was compounded because of the release of information, the impact of the internet, the impact of these breaches. So I'm not shocked that it happened.
You're not putting any conditional language in what you're saying at all. Even though the CIA and those 16 other agencies did, it hardly made any sense what they were saying.
You know, and that's the thing of, I think some of this intelligence is getting too politicized, and hacking something is very objective. There's some various things that you look at. So there's from an evidentiary nature, you can tell if something's been breached. Now, why somebody did it or what they plan on doing it, that's very subjective, that's political.
Gentlemen, I want to ask you both this. Quick, who were the perpetrators of the Office of Personnel Management cyber attack? Who was it that most recently breached the Department of Defense, the White House, the Congress? And what happened, by the way, Matt Schlapp, to that declaration by the Obama administration that any cyber attack, any kind of hack of U.S. Government secure lines, networks, files, and data would be considered an attack on U.S. assets as if they were physical. What happened to that?
A line in the sand, Lou. Obama's good at drawing them. He just forgets to do anything about it when people step over the line. And what we've seen with these attacks, and I agree that, look, cyber attacks are part of what we have to deal with, but I don't think the current administration has done a very good job of protecting. My personal information was disclosed. I think a lot of people who have served in government have had their information disclosed. And the fact is this, it's kind of another Obama scandal on the fact that did they appropriately handle all the safeguards that they bought when they put these procedures in place, just like the Obamacare website? And I think, you know, if anyone needs to be held accountable, if Congress is going to start asking questions, we have a lot of questions to aim at the Obama administration.
Yeah, and we've also got a lot of questions to ask of Congress. Why in the hell haven't they been conducting oversight over cybersecurity for the past 8 years? Because what we do know now is that this government has been hacked, and it's the DNC. The bigger issue there is not being hacked. It's the fact that they are a corrupt and collusive organization whose 3 top officials had to leave so one of them could go over and chair Hillary Clinton's campaign. I mean, Morgan, this is about as absurd as it gets.
Hey, look, Matt and I were just talking before the break. You know, there's this thing the French came up with: everybody spies on everybody. So I'm going to appropriate Matt's statement: everybody hacks everybody. This is the new normal. This is the way the world goes. You take the world as you find it, not as you wish it was. So, you know, the real answer to this, Lou, is guys, just get better cybersecurity. Quit clicking on stupid links. This is what happened to Podesta. They did a password reset. It was the most basic, fundamental case of making a mistake, of spear phishing and phishing emails and clicking on links and doing things, giving out information you shouldn't. Look, the only problem, really, at the end of the day, it's Pogo, it's Walt Kelly. We've met the enemy, and it is us. If we would just get better at cybersecurity, we wouldn't have to worry about the Russians.
Well, also, if we didn't have such big damned idiots in the federal government who really have no sense of consequence or responsibility or obligation. I mean, this is, you know, at the end of the day, this is a very unfunny thing. That is that we have leaders who lead from behind. We have officials who don't know anything and seem to be able to accomplish even less than what they don't know. I mean, this is nuts, Matt, what we are going through right now. Morgan talks about the new normal. I don't accept that for a moment. I do think he's describing correctly what has been the past, the recent past, but it sure as hell better not be part of our future.
That's right, and the fact is this, I think you described what happened at the DNC perfectly well. They want to say that the Russians influenced our election. By the way, the Russians did not influence our election. The American voter influenced our election, and they put Donald Trump in charge to be the next president. And there's nothing that happened in all these hacks that was more powerful than those Obamacare letters that showed people having 50, 60, 75,
right.
over 100% increases. Those are the things that impacted this election.
Matt Schlapp, thank you so much. Morgan Wright, thank you so much. Appreciate it.